Now, Positively Ernie with Ernie Anastas, a New York TV legend and radio host with great positive stories and interviews.
Thanks, Ernie. You're the best.
And now, here's Ernie.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the show. Nice to have you here today. You know, I love positive stories and bringing you information and things that can make your life better and happier in many ways. Dealing with reality and at the same time, you know, trying to find solutions to problems. Well, I don't think we have a problem with eating for the most part, because most people love to eat. I do, that's for sure. And I'm bringing on somebody today that's a very special friend. Her name is Alexa Matthews, and Alexa is a sweetheart because she is just a genuine person who works so hard to make people happy. And Alexa, I'm so happy to have you on the show.
So happy to be here.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me today.
Well, people should know that, you know, you have something called Eating NYC.
Yes.
And you started that back in, 2014? 2014?
Yes, 2014.
And now you've got like 300,000 followers, and you handle everything from food to fitness to leisure, lifestyle, travel. You must be having a real ball doing that, right?
I am, and I really am lucky that I love what I do so much.
How did you get into that?
So I started just for fun as a hobby, and it became monetizable and became a business. I have a background in the hospitality industry, so I was doing marketing and PR, working for a restaurant group, and then I kind of got to a point where I was ready to take it on as my full-time job. So,
well, you've done a great job with it because you have
Thank
a lot
you.
of followers, obviously. You're an influencer. But, I mean, you have to keep up with so many trends, okay? I have a lot of things to talk to you about today. I want to start with food. Okay, how has the restaurant business changed? You know, post COVID and all of that's happened to us.
It's definitely very different. I think the way people approach dining out and food is definitely different. I think people see dining out as a way to connect with other people. They see it as a social experience. Mm-hmm. They're looking to have an experience when they dine out.
Yeah.
And I think they're more cautious about where they're going, and they see dining out as an expense. So they're more particular about where they go, and they really want to enjoy and have an experience. And when they do go out, they really want to have a drink and dessert and really have the full have a good time.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, and connect with people.
You know, Alexa, you also mentioned, you know, the cost.
Yes.
And I think, you know, when you talk to most people, they'll say, you know, I like going out to restaurants, as you just described, but it gets a little costly sometimes. Even, for example, and you've got 2 young children at home, right? 2.5 and how many months?
9 months.
And 9 months. Congratulations,
Thank
by the
you.
way. So you know what it's like to have a family.
Yes.
And a lot of people, you know, that we know will say even going to a fast food restaurant, for example, has gotten expensive.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Why?
Totally.
Why
I think the cost of inflation, I think since COVID, the price of food has really gone up. Even, you know, just going to the supermarket and shopping, it's really a lot of money. Food is becoming an expense, and I think in all facets, people are looking for ways to save, and obviously dining out is expensive. So I think that's definitely a pain point for the restaurant industry as well.
Yeah, I know you cover restaurants and so forth, but food in general, you think more people are also trying to cook at home? I mean, for fun. You know, it's fun to do it, but also save some money.
Absolutely. I think during COVID, it was definitely fun to see, you know, people are baking banana bread and sourdough and all this stuff. But I think now more than ever, people are like, okay, let's, you know, cook at home. Let's save some money. Yeah.
So what's hot in the cuisine field right now? What food? I mean, a lot of people like, you know, Spanish, Mexican food, you know, French food is always kind of popular, and Italian as well. So run it down for us, okay? What are the hot trends?
Well, Italian food has always been number one in New York City for sure. I think that there are more Italian restaurants in the city than anywhere, I think, in the country. But I would say in New York City in particular, there has been a huge increase in omakase, which is a sushi style that the chef chooses what you eat. Yeah. I think we're seeing a lot more of that in different price ranges. I think it used to be something that was a little more unattainable. There was maybe upwards of $200 or $300, and now you're seeing ones that are under $100.
Yeah.
Omakase is huge. In terms of trends, I would say the biggest trend is the increase in technology in restaurants.
Technology.
You're seeing
AI?
Absolutely, right. I think some of this started during COVID where it was contactless ordering, so you would just scan a code and you can order and you wouldn't even have to interact with anyone during your meal. And we're seeing more of that post-COVID, even though kind of juxtaposing with how people want to connect when they eat out. But there's no denying that this increase in technology is imminent and is changing the space. There are a lot more ghost kitchens, which is a concept that maybe you have one kitchen and there are 10 restaurants operating under one kitchen.
Under one kitchen, yeah. And save money that way, don't they?
Right. You save on rent, and people just go in, they have an app, they order. They can order from 10 different restaurants on one app, and then they pick up the food and go home. So it's just a totally different experience than the traditional dining out.
Alexa, let me ask you this too, because you follow so much of what's going on in the food industry, and there have been a lot of changes. Globalization, and getting food from different parts of the world and so forth. Some people get a little concerned about that, and there are food allergies that people watch out for, and I think they're a little more concerned about that now because you do see signs. Let us know if you had any food allergies, and talk about children because as a mom, you understand. What about restaurants for children? Let's start with that first. What do you see there in terms of what you should be watching for?
I think in general, people are just hyper aware about what they're eating. Yeah. And hyper aware. I went to a restaurant recently and ordered a burger, and they said it was a grass-fed beef burger. They made a point to mention what kind of beef we were eating, right? Which that was the first time I heard that. But I think people are just really concerned. Is it organic? Is it not? What kind of oil are you using? Are you using a seed oil, an inflammatory oil? People just want to know. And I think, when you eat out, you don't necessarily know that. So you're going in with that risk. Obviously, with children, too, you want to give them the best options. But I think, unfortunately, when you eat out, the restaurants are looking to save costs, so they might not be giving you the best ingredients. So I think that's kind of a risk you have to take.
You think more people are asking questions now?
Absolutely.
As you go in and say, okay, well, what's in this? What about cannabis processing? Because that's another issue that a lot of people are thinking about.
I think, that was really, really hot, I would say, in 2019. I think every cafe had a CBD drink. Right. It was ridiculous. It was everywhere. I don't see that as much now, but there are a lot more of those, stores popping up around the city particularly. But in terms of restaurant using it, I don't see it as much.
Yeah. There's always something that we have to think about.
Oh, yeah.
Food is such a great topic because we could talk about this forever. In terms of a trend, something that we can look forward to in the future. Is there something on the horizon, something that's brewing out there, pardon the pun, that we should know about?
I think there's a lot of restaurants really looking to give people more than just a dining experience. And what that means is an experience, which is what people want. They want to go to a restaurant and really feel like they're having a show, whether they're presenting the food to you at the table a certain way, there's some kind of presentation, some element of a show, or there's dancing, more than just a dining experience.
Some type of activity.
Right.
Yeah.
I think that is coming in hand with people looking at dining as an experience rather than just let's go eat dinner. So I think the restaurants, in New York City, that's part of their goal now. What else are we offering? I think part of that is the competition here. There's so many restaurants. How do you stand out?
Sure.
So, making it fun for people.
Yeah, some type of a fun experience.
Yes.
With 300,000 followers, what kind of questions do you get? Do people, ask you, certain things that you have to respond to? Give us an idea.
People are always asking me where to eat all the time. Yeah. I mean, I do have a guide on my website where you can search by cuisine, neighborhood, price, but people want to hear from me first. But it's always rewarding to feel that I've helped someone, whether they have advice on where to eat, where to go, they're visiting New York for the first time, where do they need to try, or how do they get a reservation at this restaurant.
Right.
You name it.
We have a lot of choices, Alexa, that's for sure.
Oh, yes.
Hey, look, we're talking about food, and we're also talking about travel and leisure. Alexis Matthews is an expert in this area. Let's talk a little bit about travel. I was reading about how people are looking for coolcations. COOL, coolcations, because, with changing temperatures and climate change and so forth, it gets pretty hot. And people are saying, I want to go someplace where I can cool off, like, Finland and Iceland and places like that. What do you know about that?
I actually have a few friends who have traveled to Iceland recently, with kids as well. And I think it's not as expensive as other places. It's not so far. the flight. I mean, Finland is far, but Iceland is not. And it's beautiful. So I think people are maybe trying to go off the beaten path a little bit. I think people are really craving travel.
Yeah.
Maybe that's another post-COVID thing. You know, people feel like they really need to get out, and it's a great option. Everyone I know who's been there has loved it. So,
ready to make a real impact every day? Join the Active Day Home Care team and help clients maintain their independence in the comfort of their own homes. Make a difference in someone's life as you provide essential daily assistance and protect their health and happiness. Earn up to $20 an hour and enjoy additional perks like optional daily pay, 401k, paid time off, ongoing educational training, and more. Join a team that values care, compassion, and your professional growth. Visit activeday.com to apply.
You know, there are astro vacations now, too. People are thinking about, you know, it's expensive if you want to travel out of space and have that experience. That could be heavy duty. But a lot of people are saying, you know, I want to go somewhere far out where I can, you know, do some stargazing and be able to see something that looks really natural, you know, that may spoil in time. So how can I take advantage of being part of this astrological experience? That's fun, isn't it?
That's fun, and it speaks a lot to the time we're in, that people are craving sky and stars.
Yeah, right. To be out there and just to, it's a kind of an old-fashioned feeling, you know, to be out there in the open sky.
But I get it.
Especially if you live in a big city.
Especially people in New York City, absolutely.
Yeah.
You don't get to see the stars. I mean, my son is looking at night, the stars. I'm like, sorry, you can't see them here.
Let's get a telescope here, right?
Right.
Hey, remember the movie The Holiday? That was a great one. They were swapping homes. Now, I understand that's another trend right now, home swapping. People are saying, you know what, we'll swap homes. I can stay there longer. It might cost less. Have you heard about that trend?
I have not. Is this like a branch off of Airbnb?
I guess. You know, people are just thinking that this is a great way to do it.
I wonder what happens if they never want to leave.
They like
happen,
the new
home, right?
I like this so much.
Yeah, I don't want to leave.
I'm staying here. Oh, man, you know, there are so many wild things that people are experiencing, but travel is a great experience, especially for young kids, because they can learn so much about culture and diversity and cuisine and everything else. I'm sure you get a lot of questions about that.
Absolutely, and I think the younger generation, like you said, many of them are working remotely. They don't have to be committed to any space, so they're, you know, if they want to work from LA or Mexico, they can do that, and that's just a totally different experience than I had when I was that age.
Yeah. I think that they call it be leisure, and they're combining business with leisure. And people are saying, like you just said, I can go someplace, I can relax and be out there, and I can still do my work.
It's amazing. I don't know how long businesses will allow that, but for as long as they are, it sounds amazing to me.
Yeah, well, you know, listen, you have to keep up with all of these trends.
Totally.
You know, I wanted to ask you about leisure time. We just talked a little bit about business and leisure combined. But, you know, fitness and taking care of yourself and utilizing your time. Good advice that you pass along to all of your 300,000 followers. What should we be thinking about when we want to relax personally and also as a family activity?
I would say, I mean, for personal time, it's definitely hard, but, you know, prioritize self-care. If you want to get that workout in, prioritize it, and it'll make you feel better, and you'll never regret doing that workout, whether it's at home or if you can get out for a little bit, go for a run. I think that's it's super important. I think people are always talking about it, especially now, you know, self-care and your mental health, and I think it is so important, especially with just times feel crazier than ever. People are busier than ever, so just taking a time for yourself, I think, is so important.
And family activities are important too. I think more people, especially, you know, after we experienced COVID, more families are saying, let's spend quality time together.
Absolutely. I think that's the most valuable time and the most fun time is just being with your family, whether you're getting out to a museum, going to the park, or just doing everyday things. I mean, we have little children, so it's, you know, everything is an adventure for them, whether we're going to the supermarket or, you know, the hardware store, whatever it is, they're learning, they're taking it in, and that's how they're building their memories. That's their childhood.
Exactly. So as an influencer, and you have to keep up with everything, we're looking for maybe something that you can share with our audience out here, some kind of a secret, something that we should know about, some terrific, fun restaurant. I mean, you were talking about having an experience like that. Something that we can pass along to everybody, because I get a lot of people traveling into New York City. And is there one or two things that you could tell us about?
I can tell you about a really great restaurant I tried recently that's kind of encompasses everything we've spoken about.
Yeah, go ahead.
So it's called Kokodok. It's a Korean fried chicken concept, and they have this bucket feast. So it's kind of like a group dining experience.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, so it's very trendy, very lively, and it's basically like the concept is like it's a tasting menu, but it's fried chicken.
Fried chicken.
Yeah, so you go in and it's not what you think you have. You can get a caviar top. They called it a golden nugget, a caviar top piece of fried chicken.
Yeah.
And the whole kind of shtick is that the chicken that you're eating, the chickens have been fed scraps from Michelin star restaurants. So speaking about
interesting. Wow.
So speaking about caring where your food is coming from, right? They're telling you these chickens have eaten the finest foods. So
Unbelievable. That's a great story.
Right.
The name of the restaurant again and where?
Kokodok. It's in Flatiron.
Yeah.
And it just opened. It's from Simon Kim, who opened Coat.
Oh, yeah.
You may have heard of that one.
Yeah,
so this is his new concept. So it's fun. It's fun.
Are they busy right now?
They're packed.
They're packed.
They're packed.
And now with all of this publicity they're getting, they're even more packed.
Right.
Okay, I like that one. Anything else that you can share with us? Because, I mean, you're always out there. By the way, do you go to a lot of these restaurants to test them out yourself?
Oh, absolutely.
You have to go to them, right?
I have to go. Yeah.
Right. I assume that.
That's the most fun part of my job.
How do you keep your weight down? I mean, that's not easy.
Eating all the time. Chasing
taking
little
care
boys.
Of the kids. Yeah, that's one of the problems. When I watch some of the cooking shows sometimes, I often wonder, how do you maintain your weight? Because it's so good to eat that food.
Oh, my God, it is.
It's delicious.
It is. I think that's probably the most fun part of my job, but my second favorite part is the people. The people in the hospitality industry are great. Really.
Alexa, let me ask you something. What do you think is really great about our country? What's good about America? Because, you're tuned into what's happening in New York. But overall, you're very much aware of a lot of the things that we talked about. What can you say about America that's really good that you can share?
I would say the resilience. I think we're a really resilient country. Not only are we at the forefront of so many trends, not just culinary, but I think we're resilient. I think, especially here in New York, but everywhere. We've been through a lot. We're going through a lot, but we're always coming back. We're always bouncing back, whether it was from COVID or whatever it is we're experiencing. I think, Americans are resilient.
I like that. I like that a lot. That's good. Now, a lot of people travel, and they go to different cities for business or for pleasure and so forth. When you travel, what suggestions do you have in terms of where you can find the best restaurants to go to? What source do you look for?
Instagram. I always look on Instagram, absolutely, because it's visual. So you can really, and food is visual, so you can really see what it is that you're going to be eating. And, now people are posting a lot of videos or reels, so you can not only see the food, but hear them speaking about it. And I think you're getting a really good understanding of where you're going. I think. And
you feel comfortable with that? You trust the information? Because a lot of people say, well, I'm not sure if it's paid, whether they set it up themselves or this is an actual report.
I think you can get a good enough picture. And I think with a lot of food, when you look at it, if you want to eat it or not.
Yeah. Good. One last question, Guy. I always like to ask this one. If you could pass along some words of advice to a newborn baby, and here you are, a new mom in many ways, some advice that you would give a child, a little baby, and they would tuck it away, and then in a later time in life when they can understand it better, what information would you give to a little baby today to remember something that would be helpful?
It's simple, but it's even at this time I'm always thinking about it, to really appreciate each moment because it's never going to come back.
Right.
I think in life we're always waiting for the next thing to happen. Mm-hmm. Through every stage. When you're a kid, you're waiting to get on the soccer team, or waiting to get into college,
Yes.
or waiting to live on your own, waiting to get married. I feel like we're always waiting, looking forward to the next thing. And it's so important to just stop and appreciate the time that you have, because you'll never have it again.
All good. Before we go, Alexa, let everybody know how they can reach you, okay? Where they go and what kind of information they can expect.
So you can find me on Instagram at EatingNYC. That's really... I have a website as well. You can use my search to search for restaurants. You can read about restaurant reviews, but I am on Instagram. That's where you can find me.
Love it. You're great. You know what now? We've been talking about I'm hungry.
It's almost lunchtime.
Lunchtime. I'm ready to go. Alexa Matthews, fantastic
Thanks
guest.
for having
Loved
me.
having you on board. Congratulations to all you do. Congratulations with your nice family, too, your children.
Thank you.
And look forward to seeing you around town pretty
Thanks
soon.
a
Okay?
lot.
Bon appetit. Thanks, Alexa Matthews. Thank you for watching, everybody, and we'll see you next time. Bye.